All right. Y'all ready? All right, I want to welcome everybody to the August 5th, 2025 meeting. It's 6:01. If I could get approval of the agenda this time, please.
So moved.
Second. All in favor, aye? We've got a special guest. The Boy Scouts going to open us up in the invocation and pledge and tell us a little bit about your troop when y'all get through.
Lead us in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now for the prayer. Dear Lord, I pray that today can be a great meeting for everybody, that everything that needs to be done can get done, Lord. I pray that you can be in this room with these people and that everything that you need to be said and heard gets heard, Lord. In your name I pray, amen.
Amen. What, y'all are working on a badge or?
Yes, sir. So he's working on his communication merit badge. I'm working on my citizenship in the community. Both require us to attend a local, either it's a court session or a committee meeting. So came out here tonight. We just got to make sure that we listen and understand what y'all are talking about, and then we speak with our counselor about what we heard and what we learned from this meeting.
When you get through, you think you'll want to be up here one day?
Don't see why not.
Hey, before you go, we get somebody to take a
You might
picture.
have a different opinion by the
Yep.
end.
At the end of the meeting, we'll ask you again.
Oh, come on up, let's get a picture with them. That way we got
Sure.
before or after.
You ought to prove that you came, man.
This is for you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
This is for you. You want to be in a picture?
Yes, sir. This is
That's all of them. Well, you get all about them. Don't leave them out.
All right, y'all two stand right here first.
Right, thank you.
Yep. They make y'all look good.
Oh,
Thank you, Ashley.
I thought you were talking to them.
The two cuties in the front make y'all look good. Hold on, wait, we still.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, he was good. All right, okay. He was cut off more, and what they do with you?
Very well done. Thank y'all very much. All right, we move on to consent agenda approval of minutes. We had our 4 o'clock work session on the July 14th, along with another work session on July 14th at 6. Third Tuesday on July 15th, executive session July 15th, and the call meeting on July 2nd. Y'all had an opportunity to review the minutes. I will entertain a motion.
So moved. Second.
Second. All in favor, aye? Aye. Let's have it. Miss Mallory, you got us some fall cleanup.
Sorry about that. First, good evening. I wanted to just come and give a little kind of update of what's going on. We have moved to our new building, so we are in need of a new address on the contract that is coming up for renewal on August 31st. So that was first on our list to get changed, and on the scopes of services in section 3 under maintenance, we've discussed the areas of cleanup, and it's unclear in the contract a specific area. We assume Carroll's Park, so that's where we did our spring cleanup, where that was my first event, so
Sure.
that's where I have assumed we have been. We discussed just any additional areas that y'all may have in mind for us to take over, or any special projects for us to help out with. We can discuss those. For our fall cleanup, we are proposing September 27th. I know there's a football game later that evening, but I believe with it being in the morning that we can get it done, since kickoff is not until 7:30. I know it's a home game, and I know it's a very important game. I want to watch it too.
Wait a minute now, we gotta look at who they play in, if we're gonna be at the game.
Alabama?
It is. I know. I do think it's doable still. I have spoken with Shred Cycle. They are available for the shredder to be available that day. And due to the price of the shredder, I think we should just do it for 2 hours since it's $500 an hour, a minimum of 2 hours. And I've spoken with Tiffany Davis. She is going to get back with me about the staff for the tires recycle, see if we can get that this time too. And during the spring cleanup, we did notice that we need a few things, maybe some sturdier trash bags and some more
Amen.
water for the volunteers. Yes. They were easily rippable, so. But,
10 to 12 on the shredder, you think, is that, or
sir,
the time for the 2 hours, but
I
10 to 12?
think 10 to 12 would be great. Yes. I'll be there. I know I'll be there early, so.
I know tires is a big thing. I know Chairman,
It is. It is.
he found several mountains of tires around the county.
He
And didn't get but 1, 2 street, 3
Right.
street.
So it's tires. I would like to see a tire collection bin at each of these events.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So we won't have a tower on the fall, or we will?
Tiffany Davis is supposed to get back with me
All right.
on that to let
Hope
me
we
know
do, 'cause
if we've
that's,
got enough people to help with that. We do have safety vests, we have pickers, we have, like I said, we just need to get better trash bags, so. But I think we're covered on the rest of it. And I think that's all I have for y'all.
Any questions?
Discussion?
None?
Anything y'all have for me?
Any challenges?
A flyer a little bit earlier so we can
Okay.
get it out, social media and that kind
Okay,
of
we
stuff.
can do that.
We don't have any trash challenges?
Oh, I'm getting my trophy back.
She may have to this time. I'll be in Maine that week, so
You're not gonna be there for the
I
cleanup?
can't, I won't be there
Oh,
on
my God.
21st through the 28th. I'm out of town.
Oh.
I'd rather be in Maine than trash, okay?
And y'all discuss if that's a doable date. So, I mean, I've made sure that the shredder was available. They're just waiting for me to call and let them know.
Yep, Just need to get the word out and get some people to Mr. Martin, you gonna be there that day? Or you gonna be in Maine?
I might be in Connecticut. No. I'm not exactly sure, but that date rings a bell for me for some reason. I'll let you know.
All right, good deal. Well, we thank you.
Well, thank you. Y'all have a good evening.
Thank you.
Oh, Mr. Resnick, you wanna talk about the tentative millage rate?
Yes, sir. So about this time each year, the board has to decide on a millage rate to advertise in the newspaper. And this is kind of what starts the budget and millage rate setting process. You'll recall from past years that you can go down from the advertised rate. If you want to go up from it, you have to restart the process. So the numbers for this year, county unincorporated, this is on page 14 of your packet there. The FY '24 millage rate was 14.700. For this year, a full rollback would be 12.963. That would be a decrease of 1.737 mils. And typically, even using that rollback rate, you do generate some additional revenue. So using the rollback rate of 12.963 would generate an additional $771,911 in tax revenue. Then for county incorporated, the FY '24 millage rate was 16.061. A full rollback for this year would be 14.219, which is a decrease of 1.842 mils. Using that rollback rate would generate an additional 97,892 in tax revenue.
So, correct me if I'm wrong, part of the issue is that we rolled taxes back. We can keep it exactly where it is without there being an issue, correct?
If, at the current millage rate,
Correct.
so if you keep it at the current millage rate, I'd have to get Brian to run the numbers. I'm guessing it would trigger where you have to go through the process and you advertise, notice a tax increase because of the additional revenue that it would generate. And so you have to do, what that triggers is 3 hearings, 3 millage rate hearings, 3 public hearings, and then you can adopt that new rate.
No, I wasn't talking about increasing it, and for some reason I thought that if we did nothing and just kept the rate the same, you might collect more. It's not really a tax increase, but, you just kept the tax rate the same. And the reason why I'm saying that is because we had rolled it back, and that was part of our issue with the tax assessor's office. The other thing is, we got to pay for the countywide reevaluation. And I just want to make sure that we're not shooting ourselves in the foot.
Well,
That's all.
and this has been talked about a lot. As the valuations rise, and with the revaluation coming up, being completed next year, your millage rate's got to drop. That's going to invite industry, it's going to invite development, and it's going to take the burden off the taxpayers. And if you leave the millage rate where it is, based on last year's rate, you better watch, I'm just saying, you better watch out, because the pitchforks and torches are coming. We need to roll it back as much as we can, so the impact is as minimum as possible to the taxpayers.
And that's just,
I'm just caution, because it's,
yeah, the only reason why I brought that up is because, again, that was an issue. It was one of those things, we had rolled it back. And I have never voted for an increase since I've been here. But I don't want the same instance, because in one of the reports, and correct me if I'm wrong, they're not at the level that the state wants them at, and they're also, was it $103, $106 a square foot? So I hear what you're saying, but have not made as much progress as I know they need
it's
to make.
baby steps. Next year, I look for another rollback to get, when the valuations get to where they need to be. And help me out, Chris and Sam, but as valuations rise, that millage rate needs to steady drop. That way it takes the burdens off of the taxpayer, and you're going to invite, maybe get some industry in the industrial park, your timber, when it's cut, remember, it's taxed at 100% of the value.
All of that sounds great. John, I've been here 12 years, and I've been waiting on something to hit in the industrial park,
but
hoping and
right
making the
now-
necessary investments. But the reality is, again, I'm just pointing out that we got to pay for a countywide evaluation, and that's going
Right.
to be in the tune of 600-something thousand to almost maybe 800,000 or 900,000.
Yeah.
So as long as
But
you
it-
are okay with cutting the
Once-
check, I'm okay
Once
with
the
it.
revaluation's done, it'll pay its dividends when commercial gets right, residential gets everything where it needs to be. But I know you go to other counties, they're evaluated right, and, things are popping and happening the way it needs to in those
Okay.
counties.
Fair enough.
I'm just thinking of the taxpayers, and
The taxpayers knew this was coming, that's all I'm saying.
My 2 cents worth is the fact that the rollback rate that we've been given shows not an increase in taxes, but an increase in values, means that the highs and lows that we've been experiencing, which is the reason why we got in trouble with the state of having, when you pick and choose a sample, the odds that you're gonna get some of those samples really low when some of your values are really low, and some of them are where they should be and some of them are really high. The complaints you're gonna get are from the ones that are really high when your millage rate is 14, 15 mills and you're valued high. You're not gonna get complaints from those that are valued too low. When we start bringing those up to where they should be, according to the state, you're gonna have dollar amount increases because value increases. Rolling that millage rate back for the first year or two, in my opinion, is good, because you're not hurting the ones, because if you kept it at 14, 15, then the ones that were valued high and did a full value assessment and our values come up, then that millage rate is gonna hurt those that have felt like they've already gotten a whammy in the last 2 years. It's not gonna hurt for them, but those that valued your house went from 150 to 250, and you get a $50 increase, you don't really have anything to complain about, because your value of your house came up for that. Those that went from 250 to 275, you're not gonna feel a ding on it. when we get to year 2, theoretically, we should have 75% of our values that are not this and this, but more where they should be. That's when we're gonna see the effect of the rollback now. Don't hurt as much. Not as much of a rollback next year gets us our values and our dollar amounts, our taxes where they should be. So that's the whole goal, in my opinion, at the end of it, to have values where they're supposed to be. I've said it all along. I would rather have a $500,000 valued house at 12 meals than a $250,000 valued house at 16 meals. Because for the county side, we get the same dollar amount coming for our budget. But from the taxpayer side, which we all are that too, I would much rather my value be high and my payment low than my payment high and my value low, which is what we've had over the last several years.
Well, Sam, you and I both experienced the crazy increase in property value. And I want to say mine went up almost $50,000, and in the past 3 years, it's gone up 30%. So I feel that. The only thing, again, that I'm saying is we've rolled it back every single year, and I'm not advocating one way or the other, is we've always rolled it back, and the same value for a mill has been about the same, 700, 750. So I didn't see that much of a change.
Right.
And almost for 5 or so years, I think the millage, the same value of a millage has almost been the same 700,000, 750. So I don't know that we're there yet, and that's what I'm saying, we're not there yet. 'Cause I would see a mill be valued more. Right? And I think if you look at the historical 5-year period, you will see that we've almost always been in the same range. As long as we're willing to cut a check for it, I'm okay. No need to rock the boat.
Yeah, but I think your point is very valid in that this is a 3-year process, and what John's saying is a 3-year process. If we don't roll back the first year, then everybody's gonna be up in arms because we did collect more money because our values went up. And they'll say, I did have an increase, I did pay more, and y'all did collect more,
And
which
they
is gonna
expected
be,
it too.
which is gonna be true. But yeah, the fact that we're still collecting about the same thing that we collected last year tells me, with the rollback rate, tells me values are getting to where they're supposed to be, and we're able to roll the millage rate back. In the past, we've rolled it back because everything was stagnant. It got us in trouble. Because the millage rate rolled back and our values stayed out of whack. So, I didn't know how to rhyme going there.
Yep.
Rolling back, out of whack.
And it shows we're
That's where we
generating,
were. We
it
were
shows we're
whacked.
generating 771,000 extra.
And a lot of that's
We've
from
had a
Newcomb's.
$500,000 health insurance increase, and other increases that you can, that's already been eat up, so,
You said it.
you know.
A lot of
so,
that, new tax collection
and the
is
reval.
from
the
revenue
reval
or from
and
new
the reval.
construction.
But I will, it sounds like they're doing good. They've got like 4,000 parcels of 16,000 so far. So, they're not wasting any time.
But
And-
I think Commissioner Martin makes a very valid point that I think the public needs to understand now, that because we're making big strides, we're reducing the hurt right now.
Sure.
We can't do that every year because everybody's, when you go to the grocery store, when you go to the gas station, when you go to all these places, the cost is higher.
That's what I was just pointing out.
Jones County's cost is higher. Our employees cost more, our health insurance costs more, the reval costs more, all those things cost more. So we can't really say to our constituents that we're not gonna pay any more for any services than we have in the past 5 years. Because they can't look at their own home budget and say we didn't pay more than we did 5 years ago.
Everything's more expensive.
So the fact that it's more expensive means the fact that we've got to collect more taxes at some point. The value of your house coming up allows to collect more taxes in a fair and equitable manner, which is what we've said from the beginning. So the rollbacks right now ease the massive hurt because we saw a massive increase in values. I don't think next year we're gonna be able to do that. And I think that not as much. And I think by the 3rd year, we should be where our tax value and our millage rate are where we're supposed to be. And if not, then we're not doing what we said we were gonna do in the last 2 years.
Right. I think our staff has done a good job for all these years of finding ways to save money and cut waste, and that's why we're still where we're at. But at some point, we're gonna run out of, not that our luck's not gonna change, but I mean, you can only do so much till you finally say, we've done all we can. Anything else, Commissioner Martin?
All set.
All right. So, we need a motion to set the tentative rate as posted.
Yes.
Make a motion to accept the tentative millage rate for advertising purposes for 12.963 for the unincorporated and 14.219 for the incorporated.
Second.
Second, any more discussion? If none, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed?
4-1. All right, no old business, department head. Come on up here, Public Works, see you hiding in the back.
How are y'all this afternoon?
Good.
Good.
Ain't not a whole lot going on, just trying to keep these dirt roads in shape. Enjoying the cooler weather though, for sure.
Oh, yes.
But, not so much all the rain. But, we've been trying to stay busy around the camp. We're doing a little, paper pickup here and there, litter here and there and stuff like that. Watching some safety films and trying to keep the guys busy, doing a little something. While it's too wet to do anything else, but, maybe it'll slack off and we can get back on the dirt roads. I think that's our biggest thing right now, is
Yeah,
keeping them in shape.
you gonna have your hands full to all this rain.
It's rough.
I see trees are falling
Since you
like
can't
crazy.
get to the
Oh,
dirt
yeah,
roads.
trees. We've had a lot of dirt road.
Yeah. Since it's too wet to get on the dirt road, just continue focusing on that District 3 paper pickup.
It hadn't been looking as bad from what I've seen. I mean, we headed
Just
to,
let me come through a time or two. Dead pine trees.
yeah,
There's a big one on Pioneer, right
okay.
past the Daniels house,
All
in
right.
that curve on the left-hand side.
Gotcha.
We keep constantly pushing limbs out of the roadway, but it's completely dead.
All right.
Y'all may want to get it before it's,
On the ground.
because it has no roots under it. It's open, exposed.
All right. We will
Just
do.
happened to see
Why
that.
didn't you cut it down?
My thought was to get and push it, but if I had to push it, it'd have to be pushed into the roadway, because that's how dead it is.
We'll get it though.
Yeah.
All right. Thank y'all.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Mr. Anger, you got anything? No, you're not a department head, but you're sitting in there.
I'm good right now.
All right. Hey, have I missed anybody? No, Jason?
I was gonna ask the board, in terms of the budget process, SPOS has obviously taken up a lot of time and effort, but we are still working on the budget. The fiscal year starts September 1, and so typically, we have some pot of money to allocate for special projects. With everything we have going on right now, with the 500,000 increase in the health insurance and that type of thing, I don't know that we're really gonna have a whole lot to divvy up for special projects as we have in the past. So I guess my question for the board is, do you want to do the typical process where we open up for department heads to submit projects? I don't have a number for you yet in terms of what you might or might not have to allocate. I don't think it's going to be like we've seen in the past. So I guess the question is, do you want to put them through that exercise, or just hold off for now? We can essentially take the numbers from last year, make minor adjustments, and bring it to you for consideration that way.
Sounds like it's kind of a hold the line and tighten your budget, tighten your belt budget year.
Till we get all these numbers in where we know we actually are.
And I would say too, if we get 3 months into the new fiscal year and for some reason things are a lot better than we anticipate right now, you could come back and amend the budget at any time. So, I mean, we could, if it gets to be January and we see we're in really good shape, then you could open it up for special projects at that time and consider whatever's brought before you. But anyway, just wanted to get y'all's thoughts on that.
I'm good with it. I don't see, I mean, we've done a good job, in my opinion, in the past of going through line item by line item several years, and then the department heads coming in and giving their spiel on what they really need, their priority list. And like John said, I think the department heads have done a great job, at least the last 5 years, of holding the line and not bringing a bunch of wants to us, bringing the necessities. And I think we've done a good job of finding the funding for it. I also think with this SPOS, we're able to fix a lot of the things and not just throwing small dollars at it, fix problems instead of symptoms. And I think that gets us in a better spot. And we all knew we're in a tight spot with these, with the values and with all the money we're having to spend on getting these things right. I think it is a year we probably need to just sit back and hold the line the same as last year and just deal with emergencies as they come up and not try to forecast and speculate.
If y'all are all right, we'll just plan to hold off on that for now. Is that kind of the
Sure.
consensus there? As we get into it more, if we see for some reason that that's not the case, I'll certainly let you all know that, and we can regroup and come up with a different plan. But if that's okay, we'll go with that for now.
That's for me.
All right.
That
That's
it?
all I have.
Lady?
No.
Lady? Boy Scout camp, have got anything else for us tonight? What's your thoughts? You ready to do this? I like that
Just let me-
expression.
Just let me tell you, this is one of those meetings where I have to go, because they starts talking in that millage rate and all that stuff. And had I not known what that is, I'd be going, what are they talking about up there? So,
It's a lot of money, it scares you.
yeah, we debate about a lot of futures for Jones County. And that's what we have to look out for is Jones County, all of it. Not just one section, but all of it.
You're welcome anytime. Like I said, anytime you're welcome. But,
Now, where do y'all meet at?
It's behind the Lions Club.
Mm-hmm. So y'all are at Eason Altman's?
Yep,
Very
that's the
good.
Altman Scouting
Yeah.
Center.
how about that? Good deal. All right, well,
Thank y'all for coming.
appreciate y'all coming.
Thank y'all.
Citizen comments? Any citizens tonight? Ms. Vaughn, you want to do the commissioner comments?
I will start, yes.
How about that?
Huh?
Yeah, go for it.
Sorry I missed last month's third Tuesday meeting. I was at a conference. I'm tired of rain. I think the rest of us are too. But I'm tired of the heat too, so glad to see the rain. This is always a hard time of the year, trying to make decisions that affect so many people. And I just always think about it affects me too in my household. It affects my parents that are on a fixed salary income. And every vote that I make, I try to make it with my heart for everybody, not just me. And I think Daylon fights for his crew too. I can't get the word out.
District.
Dang. And I spoke to a teacher the other day, and it hit home for me, and I told Sam about this earlier today. And it was, they're on the south end of the county, and it was, she says, if we don't hold tight and keep our kids held tight, they're going to be taken over by the mentality and the ways of other counties around us. And we work hard at keeping our kids, And I know it costs the county a lot. I've never sat and thought about that. You know, I know that the south end of the county, most of the kids that go to school, they think that they go to Bibb County schools. Elementary kids, they think because their address is Macon, everything they do is in Macon, everything they hear is in Macon, and it's Jones County. I mean, I have a Macon address also, and I live 4 miles from Baldwin County. I live 5 miles from Gordon, Wilkinson County line. But I've never wondered. I knew I was Jones County, and that's always been a pride. We've got to get your district, your families, because I think a lot of that property is now rental. It's not the same family households. It's been sold out, and now it's just rental property where they're just trying to find a place to live. People are just trying to find a place to live. But it's still Jones County. How do we make it Jones County? How do we make it feel? So that's you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because if that teacher had not said that to me, I would have never thought about that those kids. She said the starting date for Bibb County was Monday.
Yes.
They had more kids at school on Monday than they had on Thursday and Friday because the parents they're in Bibb County, first day of schools. And that's that mentality of them moving on that end of the county, and the lines are all so closed that we've got to do a better job. And I don't know how that is. And I'm even stalking on the school system side too. We've got to do a better job there too. So that's just my heart speaking tonight.
Mr. Martin?
Sorry.
You know, don't apologize.
Follow that one down, huh?
Yeah, I can. It's obvious, and I'll do this. When you look at that list, every church we've ever been to, especially from an African American perspective, the pastor says, your heart is where your money is, or your money is where your heart is. And so when you look at a budget, right, and there's $14 million spent, and then you look for where it's spending 49, right? We know we have stuff we have to take care of, but that is the crux of it. At one point, 49 was the economic engine. It probably looked a little different. I wasn't here for that, so I don't know what that's like. But even when the school superintendent, the interim, was in here, he made announcements about expenditures that had to be made. And he said, if we have some left over, we'll apply it to Mattie Wells. And so there's a thought that that side of county is an afterthought. Whether I'm here in a meeting or not, we're county commissioners. And a rising tide floats all boats. And what I used to say to Mike before Jason was like, hey, you have to advocate for the county. Same thing with the chairman. You have to advocate for the county. When we do the majority of the expenditures and they are concentrated in an area and it doesn't include 49, you get what you get. And my kid asked me this question. He said, well, why does 49 look like that? I understand there's neighbors, there's a renter aspect, but then it's also on us. What do we do to create ordinances to not allow that to happen? What do we do to enforcement to not allow that to happen? And then what do we do to provide care for that area, to uplift it, and to not let it turn into Macon? And so we have to make a concerted effort, and everybody has to think county. And it's a running joke, right? We think county, we have to make it county, but the reality is we have to do that. We are 1/4 of the county, but not 1/4 of the money gets spent in that area. And so you have to make that investment. if I have a heart that needs to be replaced, but you keep putting a Band-Aid on it, eventually I'm going to die because it doesn't solve the problem. So we have to tackle those problems, and we have to spend more money in that area to do the infrastructure things to make it livable, to make it better. And the same thing with the investments and the parks and everything else. You have to make that happen. We spent probably $3.5, $4 million in Highway 18. And if you go back, you add the $4 million to the $5 million, it's $9 million. It is a central park where everybody goes. I haven't been there since my kid played football 14 years ago. But there are other parks and there are other avenues that we have to invest in. And we can't just make it about where the majority is. And I'm the only commissioner that does not have any constituents in Gray. And I'm not saying redistrict, but you guys have to serve Gray, I get that. But you have to also apply the triage where it's needed. And that's in that county. That's in that side of the county. And we have to adopt minimum housing standards to get away from slumlords, being able to have a dilapidated house that a tenant can go in and rent. That should not be okay. We should not have a property where the heat doesn't work, the roof is leaking, and a landlord is allowed to keep a property running and operating. And so if we create the ordinances and we then send Tiffany out or whomever, Tim, we can change what people see and then how kids feel about what they see. Up north, they have torn down projects, they've torn down dilapidated housing, and they put in affordable housing. And Macon is doing some of that. And until we make that a requirement, minimum housing standard, and we change how that looks, unfortunately, it doesn't get better. It gets worse. And some of us are mobile enough where we don't have to live here when that happens. So that's my soapbox. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And I hope we do bring that back up. And I've talked about that. The land bank, you gotta do the land bank to bring these properties back into the hands of investors that want to put nice properties there and make them livable. I think that needs to happen. And for the landlords that want to abandon property, hey, let some investors get access to them and change the scope of how it looks. So, welcome back to school. I hope everybody has had a good experience. My daughter is happy at Jones County High School, entering her 10th grade year. And no, I'm sorry. Isley talks about your son quite often. Yeah, she used to tease about her son being her husband. And for years, they had that banter, and she introduced his wife to him, believe it or not. So there is something to say about kids growing up in this space. They do build relationships and camaraderie that extends beyond socioeconomic challenges. Thank you.
Mr. Wood?
Hard to top those two, but I know all districts have challenges. District 2 has its challenges, whether it's roads or
Water.
water is another one. I mean, it's a community working together to make it a better place. And I mean, talking about housing standards, there's apartments in District 2 now that, after the redistricting, that sometimes they have challenges, and it's where we're gonna need some help keeping the properties decent, because you hear complaints and it's, we're sitting here, we can't do anything because the landlord or the management company won't make it right for the people that live there. So they have to go out and find other places, and you have abandoned property, essentially. But I just appreciate all our departments working hard, holding the line, because it's a tough budget year for a lot of people in a lot of counties all over the state. But, we're going to get there. We're going to serve our people, and we're going to try to serve them well.
Mr. Kitchen?
No comment, Chairman.
Wow.
I'm good. I delegated my time to 1 and 2, 3 and 4. I can't top that, I'm not even.
I'm just sitting there listening, y'all did a good job. Could I get a motion to go to?
I make a motion to go into executive session,
Second.
personnel, real estate, legal,
Litigation.
litigations, and economical development.
Economical.
Economical.
Economic
It's easy to do.
development.
It's economical.
Second.
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Thank y'all for coming.
I just keep looking at